Imagine it is the 60s. Pierre Elliott Trudeau becomes Prime Minister of Canada. After Expo 67 in Montreal, Canadians are proud of our technological capabilities. In the States, the civil rights movement is at its height. Public opinion about the Vietnam War has turned against the U.S. military by the rise of the counterculture movements. NASA is running its Apollo program and has a huge budget. NASA wants to research how they can get more geniuses to help propel the space program in the years to come. They hired George Land and a team of researchers to develop geniuses and creative potential. Land tests 1,600 children, 3 to 5 years old, to come up with new, different and innovative ideas. The results from his research show that children are highly creative. The researchers showed that 98% of children scored as being innovative, creative geniuses at 5 years old. Then, those children were tested again when they were 10, and only 30% scored at the creative genius level. At 15, it was 12%, and only 2% scored creative genius levels as adults. Land's major conclusion was that school diminished creative capacity and that all people are born with high creative capacity. Education reformers, like Sir Ken Robinson, often use this study to demonstrate that the school environment is detrimental to children's development of creativity. However, Land's study has been criticized for its methodology and validity. Moreover, the conclusion may be based upon a faulty premise, too, which is the amount of influence a school has on a child's development. For example, a child only spends about 22% of their waking hours in a year at school. Children spend 78% of their time at home, in their community, and in other non-school environments. I suggest that people feel less creative as they age because their social and physical environment outside of school embodies beliefs about creativity into them. Therefore, my theoretical framework to look at how environments embody beliefs about creativity comes mainly from Mark Johnson's work on embodied cognition and Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi's work on a system view of creativity. Embodied cognition is the theory that there is no separation between mind, body, and the environment. We are sensorimotor beings that build neural pathways within our brain, constituting our thoughts, feelings, and beliefs, an integral and interconnected part of our body. Moreover, we cannot be without an environment, both physical and social, and can only understand that environment through our bodies, meaning that we embody our environments. Johnson, 2007. A systems view of creativity is the understanding that creativity has to be understood as a system and not just as an individual psychological processes. There is an individual within a system of creativity who can think of new ideas, but to do so, that individual must interact with a body of knowledge, domain, and for that idea to be recognized as new, experts, field in that domain must debate the idea's originality. Csikszentmihalyi, 1996. Based on this understanding of embodied cognition and the system's view of creativity, an individual will come to believe that they are creative or non-creative due to the characteristics of their environment that embodies either belief into the individual. In other words, an environment's characteristics will encourage a person to view themselves as creative or not creative. Even though I am at the beginning stages of my research into embodied creative spaces, I have found 11 characteristics of an environment that would allow a person to believe they are creative. These characteristics are not pillars that exist separately from one another but more like a network that shapes the fabric of an environment. Safety and support are two layers of an environment that would embody creativity. Safety refers to an environment that allows for failure without the individual feeling like a failure, while support is the nurturing and celebration of failure while encouraging an individual to continue after failure. Access to resources would be another characteristic of a creative space. Resource is a broad concept that falls into three areas: natural, human effort, and tools. Natural resources can literally be the clay of creativity. They are the actual physical resources to make something. Human effort are the resources of human beings to work and to come up with ideas. And finally, tools are the technological resources from the simple lever to AI that are required for creativity and generation. The characteristic of autonomy in a creative space is the ability of an individual to find agency in their quest for knowledge, skill, and understanding. To be motivated, individuals must pursue endeavors that appeal to them. Flexibility refers to the physical space that can alter and the cognitive ability to pivot and change ideas. For example, I need a space to get up and move around to alter my perception of what I am working on. For individuals to be creative, they often need to alter their perception of a problem or idea by having space to move. The rigidity of being right can inhibit creative thought by not allowing individuals to change their minds and perceptions of an idea. Collaboration and diversity are another two layers of this creative space network. Collaboration would appear to be in contrast with the characteristic of autonomy, but autonomy is mainly about choice and allowing a person to explore ideas, skills, and materials that they want to explore. This does not mean the individual has to do this alone. Creative people often don't work in lonely and isolated places. Collaboration is frequently at the heart of innovation. Therefore, collaboration with diverse ideas, views, perspectives, cultures, etc., leads to innovation. Challenge is the zone between something too hard and too easy to accomplish. In other words, an individual needs an environment that pushes them to try something new, but they cannot be so far out of their abilities that it is impossible to accomplish. Finally, the last three characteristics are a triad of pathways: playfulness, inspiration, and a connection to nature. Imagination is an important part of creativity and comes through an environment of playfulness. Playfulness is easily understood from children's perspectives. It is the imaginative space where children explore concepts, values, identities, and roles. However, as we grow, there is increasing pressure to set aside imaginative play for productivity. Inspiration is one of the elusive qualities of creativity, and for my creative space framework, it is the aesthetic and knowledge possibilities an environment contains. The creative space environment would contain things allowing individuals to go beyond what they already know. Individuals are more likely to be creative when surrounded by a rich aesthetic environment than a sterile one. Finally, an embodied creative space is connected to nature. Nature can help individuals recover from directed attention fatigue. Kaplan, 1995, page 170. Today, we spend a lot of time hyper-focusing on accomplishing daily tasks. Kaplan explains that nature can provide recovery by providing an effortless, distracting, and engaging environment. This distraction gives us recovery that media does not, because media encourages us to be hyper-focused without any movement. These 11 characteristics are embodied creative spaces: safety, support, access, autonomy, flexibility, collaboration, diversity, challenge, playfulness, inspiration, and connection to nature. If these exist in a person's environment, they are more likely to believe they are creative and thereby be creative.